Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Club Barcelona. Off camera, we won the games that you'd expect us to win. We did draw the one game against Getafe. A little tweak recently, and it was Gavi, the Chabi role, to the box midfielder role. Now, I didn't want to do it because it can be a little bit hectic, the role. It can be a bit too up and down compared to the room playmaker. But just on reflection, looking at the tweaks to the new match engine with the wingers and stuff, it looked a little bit like I don't know whether it's because the inside forward was getting slightly narrower or going more narrow early, but he was staying back a little more than he was before, I think, just in this exact tactic. It felt like that. So the box midfielder seems to do slightly better, and it was also defending slightly differently, I felt like. It was very unusual, actually. So I didn't expect there to be a change to that. So let's see what happens today. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to look out for. Everything else is pretty much the same as it was, but that's the only change. We'll see how that goes, but we needed to do better because we were not creating chances. You can see, ignore the friendlies there, but we weren't really scoring that many goals to begin with, but we were starting to notably drop in our performances post-patch. In today's episode, we're going to play the Espanyol game. We're actually going to play the Valencia game in the Cup because we're going to play the rotated side, just so you get the chance then to see some of the backup players play. Probably haven't seen them play too much on camera, so let's play some of the backup players, play completely rotated 11, see how they do. And we are in the process of signing a right-foot striker, Alexander Isaac. The main reason is I wanted to try and play Erling Haaland out as our Messi, as it were, just because Moukoko just doesn't seem to be... he's nowhere near Messi's level in mentals, is he? And we're trying to recreate a tactic where your best player is in this role, and he's not our best player. And even Adeyemi, when he plays there, his lack of flair is frustrating along with his passing and vision. And you just look at Erling Haaland. Now, if you didn't look at his height, but you looked at everything else, let's say he was 5'9", 5'8", or 5'6", like Messi, you'd look at that and think inside forward or striker 100%, but if you just ignore the height. So we're going to ignore the physical attributes and the strengths that he's got because he's got everything else that we're looking for. I don't think there's really another left-footed player apart from maybe Sane and Salah, probably the two other left-footed players you could go to, but we haven't got those. We've got Erling Haaland though, so I'm going to try and do that. But to do that, I don't want to rely on Patson Daka up front. He's frustrating me. He is our emergency option. His loan will be terminated at the end of the season, and he'll be gone. He's not good enough. But for now, he'll do as the emergency. But we need to bring another player in. So to bring Alexander Isaac in, it's actually going to cost us a lot of money. So 25 up front with 55 overall, so another 30 on top of the 25 over installments. We've only just got enough for it, so we're actually going to sell Nico. No, not Nico. Sorry, we were going. Oh, okay. Well, Orlana was going to leave, and he still is going to leave. You're going to leave, Orlana. You're going to leave, mate. We need the money, so get out the club. So he's going to leave and get us an extra $1 million. And then Galeno is going to leave because we have Gelson Martins as our backup left-sided player to Ansu Fati. And Galeno is the spare player, and he's just not ever getting played. And I just don't see the point in keeping him. I do see the point because he's a good emergency option. He's a really good winger on Football Manager as Galeno. But I think if we can get Alexander Isaac in, he could also do that job. He could go and play on the left-hand side if we needed to. And I just feel like we're a much better team for it. So we're going to make that change. And right now, our transfer debt is really low. We're not spending much. We're only losing 30 million. I think that's a season, isn't it, in transfers? So we can easily afford it with the current financial situation of the club, as you can see, because we did such a good job of getting the finances back in order. We've still got nearly 100 million in the clear. So that's going to be the process of our next transfer window here. Ivakovic is suspended. He's injured, so he's going to miss this game against Espanyol. Just the manager says, carry on with the performance of this match, will do well. Underway here, it's going to be a highlight immediately. We're on extended highlights for those of you that are interested in how we're looking at the game, and that is the end of it. Long throw is thrown in by Espanyol. We win the ball here. Erling Haaland gets it. Yep, hold on to the ball now. Retain and build. Good. Stay wide patty. Good. Not entirely sure I like the fact that Gaia's going and making this. What is he doing there? I know we've got a sit narrower on, but I'm going to take that off him actually because I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to start making that run into the half space. He may as well be an inverted wing back with the run that he just made. I don't want him to do that. They clear the ball again. Our guy's going to get onto it before his change is made. Guardiola to Lacroix. Plays it. Oh, I don't like that. Even if we score from this, I don't like that. Wow. I don't want the goal. Give it back to him. Keep it 0-0. Offside. It's because of the percentages ball. Moukoko had to take that in the air, which I just don't like that. That just wasn't what we're looking for. Pedri nearly made the run inside. That was nearly good from him. Well done, Pedri and Erling Haaland. But yeah, I don't like that aerial ball that came out to Moukoko there. It was low percentages. It wasn't needed. It was unsafe. It was risky possession for no point. And if it had been intercepted, we would have not been in a good position to stop the attack. Ansu Fati gets into it, cuts back, gives it to Guy and Pedri. But I was in a slightly better position, I guess, there. Lazari. I actually missed what happened on the ball. I was looking just at Guy, and Moukoko nearly scores. Haaland's going to win the ball here for us. Pressing, Gavi to Moukoko to Erling Haaland. Didn't need to play that ball really, did he? Gives it away. Now they're going to go long. We should win this and get to the second. We do. Lacroix to Gavi. Gavi to Ndombele to Lacroix to Ndombele. We retain around. Going to get higher. See, Pedri do... I mean, Haaland's going through here, but let's just go back and look at this. Like, there's just no need for Pedri to be this deep. Like, he needs to be up here more in this area and allow, and have the discipline to allow us to get the ball to you. Don't come and find it. You stay there. We'll find you. Like, he's just so deep. Like, he's look at that. Pedri and Ndombele are in a double pivot right now, and without reason. Like, Pedri doesn't need to, Guardiola could travel with it and play it to the left back, and we can start to move the ball around from there if we needed to. But Haaland goes through. Oh, keeper's made an absolute ricket there, but it's going to be okay for them. Another highlight immediately here. Ansu Fati. We're creating a lot of chances, which is good now because we weren't before. Pedri to Gaia. Gaia's going to hold on to, whips the ball into Erling Haaland. That was not really necessary. Centre backs don't get onto the ball enough, do they? In possession, they're the left back could have gone back to the left centre back in real life, but he had no option because the left centre back didn't really come and get onto it. I almost want wide centre back runner back too. I mean, I can put that as a feature request on the forums, but not sure if that's going to do it. Let's go stay wider anyway and see what that does on both of them now. Otto Guardiola, this is going to be a highlight. Could be a highlight, I suppose. Gaia has it. Ansu Fati, Pedri straight over to Erling Haaland. Wow. I mean, they're going to give you the space to exploit. You exploit it, right? Like Barcelona would have done this. Like if that was what was on. But I mean, he shouldn't really have got to it. I suppose it's actually a defensive mistake. It's the left back and the goalkeeper both should have got there first. Neither of them sort of went to it, leaving it to each other. So I suppose that can go down to a defensive mistake rather than us carving them open there. Guardiola, Gaia back to Guardiola. We're looking good and build. Do not ping that clear. Good staying on the board. Gaia. Not entirely sure that was necessary. You can just see that we sort of get ourselves into a position where we then ping it and we try to force it into somebody, and I don't really know why that's happening more now. Gallup's in a corner, headed away. Haaland, Lacroix, saved. My Gaia's going to be cleared, and Ndombele's going to get onto it, place it to Gaia. Gaia's going to whip the ball in Pedri at Fati, and it's going to be cleared. And they're going to get on the counter here, Espanyol. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Moukoko seems to be less effective since the patch, and I don't know whether it's just the way... He shouldn't be less effective. If anything, he should be more effective, and I don't understand why he's playing so badly and being... So there was a game where he got a good assist with Pedri, and he was wide, and he pinged it in for Pedri running in behind. It was great. And there was one where then I put him inside, and he linked up inside and played a great ball through to the striker, but it seems like the stars have to align for him to be effective. Like, it has to be the right setup, right moment of the game, right score, right momentum, all that sort of thing. So I'm not really happy with what I'm seeing from him. But again, I'm just going to put the... I mean, I know that's not exactly what I'd want him to do, but it's just to make his behaviours change a little bit more with the ball. It might mean that he travels with it a little bit, then gets off it, does Gavi. At the moment, he's just not really doing anything on it. The difficulty, though, is that this is all well and good against Espanyol at home. It's that if you're creating this little amount, or now it's getting better, the expected goals in particular, but if you're not creating enough against teams like this at home, you're going to get done in the Champions League by a good team that's ready to play against you, and it's not going to sit back against you either. That's the other thing, right? So definitely getting Alexander Isak into play as our sort of Samuel Eto'o, more like as Zlatan really, and then having Erling Haaland to be our Messi. I don't like the fact they're both so tall. I mean, Eto'o was what, 6'1", Samuel Eto'o, 6 foot, something like that. So Alexander Isak's only a couple of inches above that, so I'm not really worried about it being a completely different profile of player here. It's not like we're getting Zlatan in to recreate the role of Messi. It's not quite that different. What has it? Going to play it from the back here. So we're seeing what you're seeing here is Pedri's come deep to get, which I don't like. But it was a nice position from Gavi. Positionally here, he's much better. Now they're reverting back. I like that. Gavi gets on it. Good. Okay, that's fine. They're going to give that to us. That was good. That was good. I like that. Going to finish 2-0 to Barcelona. We'll say good win, boys. Well done. That isn't actually what it says, but that's what it used to be on Football Manager like years ago. Those of you that have played it since, I don't know, Football Manager 2006 and 2007, when the team talks were first introduced, that is what it used to be. And we will be saying, oh, change up more, take more risks. We'll do that for the Gabby role. Mukoko, I don't know, you're starting to piss me off, to be honest. I don't know what to do with him apart from replace him and see if somebody better there does the business. So we're going to find out in this game with somebody just different. Adeyemi's going to have a go. I've already seen Adeyemi play this a couple of times, though, so I'm not really expecting much from him. And Eric Garcia can go in there. So that's going to be the team for this game coming up, and I'll see in a few days for it for the Valencia game, and hopefully by then we have our new signing, Alexander Isak. We'll start with some good news. Not only did we manage to get Alexander Isak in, but we managed to keep Galano. In the end, the board let us just sign him because he was right on the line of it taking 25.5 million of our budget. I think it was going to take 25.75 and we had 25. And originally they forced to delay it. But because it got so close to the end of the window, the second time around they just said, you can confirm it, the board did. So we just confirmed the Isak one and didn't have to sell anybody. We did then still choose to sell, what's his name? Orellana, because we just don't need him. We've got two pivot players in Ndombele and Nico anyway, and if there was a big problem, De Jong and Castrovilli could both go back there, and we could also play Eric Garcia there as well. There's no problem in selling him for £1 million, get that money into the club, get him off the wage bill, and continue our road to financial recovery. This is going to be the team for today's game then. Lots of players not in match sharpness, so this will be interesting. Alexander Isak's just going to start because I want to play him, and let's see how he gets on. And it just says, keep going on a run. Yeah, this game will definitely be in key highlights because it's, we've tweaked the tactic already. You've seen it tweak. This is more about seeing the players that we don't normally get a chance to see and see if we can win the game still. That's going to be interesting as well. We obviously want to win as many trophies as we can, but I also want to still see some of these other players play as Valencia nearly score early on. Valencia have the ball here. Hugo's now got it. He plays it back to Diakabi. He's going to play it back to the keeper and send it long. Now we're going to get to this. Saraki does not win his header. That's not good. And we just resort to pinging it back to him. This isn't good football from either side. It's just counters, and it's a goal for Valencia. Guedes scores. I like here, Gelson Martins to Castrovilli. Castrovilli gets on the ball, plays it back to Saraki and to Alexander Isak, to Adeyemi, to De Jong. Had an overlap, didn't use him, played into Gelson. At least Gelson was in a good scoring area there. That was good to see. I'm not happy. I want to see much better. Absolutely nothing has happened in this game. Put on... the sub? Nope. Like for Barcelona, Castrovilli plays it, it's cleared. Eric Garcia is going to get to this and retain the ball for us. Might have one last attack here. Mingueza plays it across to Frankie de Jong, Daka, and it's going to be probably offside. We'll see what the final decision is. Yep, it is. So the rotated side gets us knocked out of the cup. That's really annoying because it's going to be one less trophy than we probably deserve. I think that some of the football we play, we deserve to win more. And we should be doing slightly better, but we're not. And that's really disappointing that it's going to finish that way. Yeah, I'm going to tell them I'm angry. If you're going to be playing in this team, you've got to be able to play in those games. At home against Valencia, there's no excuse for that. That was really poor. Let's just register Isak for the Champions League while we're here. In Sevilla could still catch us, That's quite an impressive run they've been on. And they're not too far away, quite weirdly. But did they have a takeover? They are just absolutely loving life in in La Liga. They didn't sign anybody this season. What? Whatever happens this season, their manager should get manager of the year, surely. That's crazy. Fair play to them. That is absolutely crazy. Starting 11, they've got a pretty good few subs there. Do you know what? It's not a bad squad, to be fair to them. Fair enough. They're probably better. They're almost a better squad. If you threw in two world-class players into this team, they'd be a better team than Real Madrid, easily. Like, Real Madrid have got a lot of high-reputation players in their team, but it's like very old players. Benzema's already, 35. Eden Hazard is 32, but his physicals have plummeted. You've got Modric, 37, Kroos, 33 and slow. Even Alaba's 30, going to be the wrong side of that pretty soon. They're not a very young team. Azpilicueta, 33. They're a much worse team than their friend Sevilla, who they're going to be battling. Well, no, they're not going to be battling them at all. In fact, no, Real Madrid, they are battling Real. 26 points. That's ridiculously bad. They're going to be battling Real Sociedad and Valencia and teams like that for potentially the Europa Conference League, which would be hilarious to see them in. So, yeah. In terms of we come back, we're in full sort of tweak mode right now, so I don't know if there's any point in skipping any games. I think we're going to come back for these two, to be honest, because that's 2 tough away games that you normally get on the game. We're going to come back for these 2. I'm going to skip then the Levante and Porto games because it won't matter. That game we'll easily knock out Porto, not bothered about that. And then and that might come back to haunt me, but I don't think we will. And then we'll come back for the Real Madrid, and then maybe Villarreal game. Not sure there's any point in playing that game. Oh no, they're 5th Granada. They're actually a more important game than Real Madrid, incidentally. So there we are. So yeah, we'll come back for these 2 next. We won't miss any games. We'll keep tweaking, especially looking at the left-hand side. And we won't be doing any more games on key because I was only doing that because it was the Spanish Cup quarter-final. It was the backup player, so it was hard to know too much tactically what was going wrong when those players would not be, those players that are in there. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with these 2 games coming up, skip these 2, come back for these 2, and then just see where we go from there. I think we'll pretty much base it around 1 league game, Champions League game, 1 league game, Champions League game, all the way through to the end of the season. Hopefully that makes sense to you and you appreciate that, and it works for you. Currently at 63% possession with 15,000 passes completed, doing pretty good there. Yep, that's the league table. We're definitely finishing in the top 2. Just depends whether they're going to win it or not against Sevilla, who I'm quite impressed with, to be honest. We'll play them away from home. Sevilla, it's unlikely they're going to beat us to it, but they could. You never know. Could be the most colossal failure of playing as Barcelona on YouTube ever on Foot Manager, so we'll see. Could just be a complete disaster from us for the rest of the season, so you never know. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Do please let me know what your thoughts are, like always. Very much interested to know what people are thinking about the content here on the channel, and I thought that we were getting almost to perfection here, as close as we could get it, and then the patch has sort of thrown a spanner into the works, so we've got a lot more tweaking to do for the rest of this season, and then maybe even into next season as well, when we get better players, better suited players, and maybe 1 or 2 more youth products into the team as well. But thank you very much for watching. See you next time.